Hello everyone, this is Kiana Mayfield from LibraLunacenter.com, and there is a full moon in Libra happening this week, April 10th, 2017. Now there's a lot going on before that happens, so we're going to dive into that. Venus has retrograded back into Pisces. It did that on April 2nd, and today Saturn has retrograded on the galactic center, and it won't be back online until late August 2017. And then on April 8th, no, not April 8th, April 9th, Mercury will go retrograde in Taurus. So there is a lot of retrograde energy happening. So let's talk about Venus first. Venus has retrograded back into Pisces from Aries, which went retrograde on March 4th. And Venus in Aries has been about taking our power back. This has been about redefining who we are, redefining what we want in relationships, and setting the standard, because Mars is in Taurus. It's plowing through. It's all about defining what it is that we want in our lives, right? And Venus in Aries has been us looking at ourselves and our desires and what turns us on, basically. But Venus going back into Pisces has been reconnecting us back to our spiritual center, realizing that we are, in fact, spiritual beings having a physical experience. We are not just machines designed to get hot and bothered over one thing or another, and that is our definition of a relationship. We cannot Netflix and chill and expect that to be the basis for how we relate to other people. Venus in Pisces is about realizing that we are souls, and the things that we do not have a spiritual connection to are not, they are no longer going to fulfill what we want to create in our lives. So this spans across everything that we want to attract in our lives. Relationships, not just romance, but relating to everything that is the other, because the full moon will be in Libra. This will be highlighting this aspect. Venus in Pisces. I'm getting the tune from Pocahontas. Listen with your heart, you will understand. It was Grandmother Willow who was the blessed soul who brought us that song. But that is what Venus in Pisces retrograde is asking us to connect to again. It's asking us to connect to our inner knowing, to the parts of ourselves. A soul does not exist within our bodies. We live within our souls. The soul exists on the outside of our bodies. We live within the soul. It has an auric field. The soul is interdimensional. It is not something that can be pinpointed to this dimension. And Venus in square to Saturn retrograde, which is going to occur on April 8th, Saturday, is going to really highlight this aspect. And it's all about realizing that the current circumstances that we're in regarding our relationships, regarding our finances, regarding the things we're creating, are they aligned with our true spiritual connection? And the foundation of a square aspect in and of itself, is about crisis. It is about the crisis to action. And the crisis to action is asking us to make a major decision with what connects to our spiritual source. Where do we want to be? Anything that is not in alignment with that is going to feel empty. Saturn retrograde is about karma. It's about integrating Saturn within our lives as a daily ritual. We cannot meander through life anymore, expecting Saturn to, just constantly be there. It's offline now. And this is about realizing short-term gratification will no longer fulfill us. It is not enough to simply make money for the sake of making money. It is no longer enough to create things just to say that we created them versus being something that is really in alignment with our spiritual values, something that really we feel like we're contributing something to the collective. It is no longer enough to simply be in a relationship for the sake of being in one. It is no longer enough to simply say, we're playing around, or Netflix and chill is the new basis for how we're going to come together. I keep using that term, but yes, the crisis is in the square. So if you do not make the decision, the universe will conspire to make the decision for you, and it will come out in a dramatic way because the full moon in Libra is going to be conjunct to Jupiter, opposing Uranus, and square to Pluto and Capricorn. And this is a big conversation because Pluto, okay, before that happens, the sun will square Pluto. And it will square Pluto exact April 8th, as well as opposing Jupiter. So we're already feeling it boiling up within us. We're already feeling like this big, giant bubble about to burst. And before that happened, Mars was in trine, it's today, Mars was in trine to Pluto exact, and it's giving us the will and the determination to power through with what we know our destiny is. But Sun squaring Pluto is bringing up all the parts of ourselves we're hiding. It's bringing up what we really want to commit to. If you're looking at a situation in your life and you're saying, oh my God, this is for me, this is my new obsession, this is where I'm going, this is what I know I need to be doing, then the Sun square Pluto will be emphasizing that, and it's the best time to be in that frame of mode. But if you're like, this doesn't feel right, something's off, Sun square Pluto, I have this aspect natally, so it's something that's a constant theme in my life. Pluto is the onion peeler of the zodiac. It will rip and shred anything that does not need to be there. It will rip and shred to get to the core of who you are, to get to the seed of who you are. It does not care about what you personally think you want. We personally think that we just want to sit in the couch and watch movies all day because it feels good. But Pluto doesn't care about what you personally think you want in your mind. It's about, Pluto's the long term because it's a transpersonal planet. If you're thinking that this is who I am and this is what I want to be doing, but it's not in alignment with where you really actually want to be, where your soul wants to be, let's say 10 years from now, then Pluto is going to tear apart those foundations. It's going to tear apart anything that is not authentic. And Pluto in square to the sun in Aries, and Jupiter opposing it in Libra. It's going to be this massive, big, gigantic question in the air, because if you're not willing to take the action to get to where you really need to be, if you're not willing to make the transformation into this new person, then something's going to be revealed that will force you to get in that direction. You're either going to need to make a decision, or there will be a crisis. That's what squares do. And so Mercury will go retrograde in Taurus on April 9th. And this is going to be reviewing everything that it is we do truly value. It's going to be rethinking everything that went down back when Mercury was in Aries in late March. It's going to bring back the conversations. It's going to bring back the decisions we made during that time. And it's going to be reviewing if this is what we really want or not. It's going to go back one more time, and we'll be going over this period 3 times. And it won't come out of shadow until May. So it's a constant. April is a constant month, a theme of processing and redefining and transforming and preparing for the month to come in May. So this isn't necessarily the time to jump to conclusions, but it is the time for the big reveal. It is the time to process what it is we really want to be building, especially with Saturn being retrograde. It's like it's squaring to Venus, while the moon will be in Libra conjuncting Jupiter, emphasizing all of this. Is going to be a big dramatic showdown, but Venus in square to Saturn conjuncting Chiron in Pisces is having us see that the real thing is worth waiting for. Short-term gratification does not bring us anything but emptiness. The real thing is worth working towards, even if you're not necessarily Venus square Saturn is not a feel-good aspect. You feel lonely, you feel like you have to do things on your own, like you have to cut off a part of something that makes you feel good but doesn't necessarily bring you to the place where you want to be. You need that spiritual connection. You need something that sustains itself beyond this dimension, beyond the physical. And the moon, when Saturn squares Venus exact on Saturday, the moon will be in Virgo, opposing it directly. So the moon in Virgo is asking us to look at the details, to see if the situations that we're in are clean and pure or not. Is there a connection there, or is there not? Are we going to choose a life of fulfillment, even if that means we have to work for it? Or are we going to choose the easy way out? Are we going to choose a way to escape what we really are? And if you're not willing to choose the hard way, even though it's the better way, but it is the long-term way, so it's not instant gratification. It is working and preparing you could say that you may be creating things. You may be trying to build a relationship. You may be redefining who you are, but it's not all going to pan out in the way that we want it to. It's not all going to come to fruition immediately because there needs to be momentum involved. But the fact that you're working towards it means that you're in alignment with your higher knowing. You're in alignment with your soul. Whatever is calling you, you need not to ignore it, but to answer it and to integrate your life in the highest service towards that call. You cannot pretend that it doesn't exist. You cannot pretend like you are just a machine or a physical body having a spiritual experience. It's the opposite way around. And whatever your soul connects to, you have to go down that road. You can't settle for anything less. And by the time we get to the full moon in Libra, Venus and Mercury will be practically stopping. So this is a big review of all of our relationships in our lives. This is a big review of we're stopping and processing where we really want to go. So when the full moon in Libra occurs, full moons are about culmination. They're about releasing. And the fact that this full moon is conjuncting Jupiter, squaring Pluto, and opposing Uranus, there's going to be things that are shocking coming to the surface. There's going to be big confrontations. Anything that you've been hiding from or keeping a secret is going to be revealed. And how you're going to deal with that, ideally, you need to deal with it in a peaceful way, in a way that isn't aligned with your highest integrity, because the moon is in Libra. You have to stay peaceful within the chaos that surrounds you. The sun will be conjuncting Uranus. So it's asking us to upgrade who we are. And if these alignments that we're making with other people, especially because it's in Libra, is this going to upgrade who we are or downgrade who we are? That's the big question that we all need to be answering. And the thing that's going to downgrade who you are is the empty life. It's going to be the thing that is not spiritually integrally connected to who you truly are on a spiritual soul level. And that's not to say, forget them, they're not spiritually connected to me. No. We're all spiritually connected to each other, but your soul came here for a reason. And to deny what the soul is asking you to do, what it's asking you to experience in this lifetime, is to basically cut off your oxygen supply. And the fact that Venus was in Aries beforehand, this was all about healing the patterns, the cycles, the habitual modes of being that came from our childhood, that came from our adolescence, that we used to be in relationships in the past, right? Because this Venus retrograde cycle goes back to March of 2009 when it was in the same exact position. So this is all about healing the adolescent within ourselves, the teenager, right? Because it was in Aries, and it's all about realizing that you do not want your 13 to 17-year-old self making your relationship, money, creative, anything. You don't want it making your huge lifetime decisions for you. You want to put that to rest because you are no longer the same person. You have developed a higher expansive view of where you want your life to be going. And you can't dilly-dally on the surface anymore. You have to go all in, or what are you doing? That's the big question. Venus in Pisces merges into what it connects to. And if you are not aligned spiritually with what you are connecting to, it's not going to work. And it's not going to fulfill you. And you're going to have to face the consequences of that, because Saturn is squaring Venus exactly, and Chiron is conjuncting Venus. So this is healing the parts of ourselves that we developed in relationship and in the financial market, how we make money, how we developed it from our adolescent years. This is healing the parts of ourselves that have felt we needed to be in a codependent relationship, let's just say. We needed to be in something that goes back to how our parents used to be in relationship to each other, right? We're taking on the history of how our ancestors came together. And it's not necessarily fulfilling us because it's not spiritually connected to who we are. It is ancestrally connected to the patterns of how we think we should be. So the Sun conjuncting Uranus later on this week. It is after the full moon, so it will build up gradually as we exit the week. But the Sun conjunct Uranus exact is a complete redefinition and upgrading of who we actually are. It has gone through Pluto, it has gone through Jupiter, it has gone through the full moon, Venus squared Saturn, making us look at, is this really aligned with who we are spiritually and what we want to connect with spiritually? And realizing that it's time to ascend to a new chapter in our lives. It's time to become who we've always wanted to be. And the relationships are going to be a big factor in this week and how we define who that person is. There's going to be huge confrontations. Don't, underestimate what's about to go down. Major things are going to be revealed, major relationship cycles, patterns of how we think we need to be in relationships are going to be erased, This is spiritual cleansing, and it's preparing us for the balance and the empowerment of our true selves, so that when we enter May, when the North Node comes into Leo, mind you, this is the last month that the North Node will be in Virgo. This is the last month to purify, to fix, to heal everything that has been messy in our lives. Everything, all of the old wounds, all of the old karmic cycles, all of the old karmic patterns. Everything that is old in our lives needs to be purged. And this is the last month to do that, before we arrive in May. And if we're not willing to do that, then we will face the Saturnian consequences as it is going retrograde on the galactic center through however dramatic it needs to be. And the cardinal signs will feel this the most. If you have a planet in Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, you will feel this the most because you will be right in the middle of the battle. It's a cardinal T-square. And so just expect things to come out of the blue. Just expect everything to be revealed, and don't deny what's being revealed. Look at the full picture. And Mercury will be going retrograde, so this will be allowing you to go back into yourself and review if this is what you really want to build or not, and to be honest with yourself, and to recognize that you don't need to necessarily be in a state of hating anything that isn't aligned with your spiritual integrity. No, Venus in Pisces is very compassionate. It's in its exaltated state. Venus loves to be in Pisces because it is about merging into the collective ocean of all that is. It's about loving everything, right? But Venus in Pisces is also connecting to who we are as a soul. And if the spiritual connection is not there, it's going to feel wrong. And before Venus goes direct on April 15th, there will need to be, this full moon will be us making major decisions about where we really want to go, what we're truly spiritually connected to, as Pluto is squaring both the moon, Jupiter, and the sun and Uranus on the opposite ends. And this will be bringing everything up. Everything that you think is secret, everything that you think is hidden will be brought to the surface and played out for all to see. And so the ending of all of this will be somewhat bittersweet because you recognize that the instant gratification is not enough anymore. The superficial relationships, the superficial jobs, the superficial projects are no longer what's going to cut it anymore. You need to feel like you're contributing to something bigger than yourself. You need to feel like you're on a path that is going to bring you to a better place, not a worse place in your life. And it can feel bittersweet because it can feel like you're not getting what you want, but you're not getting what you want viscerally. You are getting what you want spiritually because you're on the right path. You're in alignment with your spiritual integrity. You know that whatever's on the other side of this is going to be worth the wait because it's going to be real. And North Node in Virgo is all about recognizing what's real and recognizing what's not. And anything that's not will be revealed. So get ready for Venus to go direct on April 15th, tax day in the USA. But this will be us making a major decision. It won't come out of shadow until May 18th, I believe. But we'll be on the journey to healing our karmic relationship patterns. Will be on the journey to healing the part of ourselves that feels like we can't create what we want in our lives. It may take a lot of work to create what we want. We might not see the instant results of what we're creating, and we feel like, it's hopeless, but things that are worth building need time. They need momentum. They need constant nurturing. And as the flower grows, it will bear its fruits for you to indulge in when the time comes. But this is not saying you need to quit your job, let's just say, and start doing only the thing you love. No, it can be realigning how you're using your current job to pay for the things that you really want to be doing. You can be setting aside time to do the thing that you really want to be doing while you're taking care of your responsibilities. You can set aside money to be investing in the things you want to be doing. The point is, it doesn't need to be so black and white. It can be, as long as you are connected to what you know you need to be doing, as long as you are connected to who you know you are spiritually, then it will feel like you are on the right path. And you may not see the instant results of that, but as I said before, the wait is worth it for the real thing. So, thank you for watching, and be safe during this full moon. I just want to thank all of the people that are liking and watching my videos. I really appreciate it. This has been, I'm trying to come out of my shell as well, and this YouTube channel is helping me bring that out a lot, because it's not easy to just come up in front of a camera and start blabbering at the mouth about something you've been studying. But it's nice to know that there are people that exist who are appreciating this information. And I appreciate the people who are watching. It gives me a lot of hope that my messages are touching you wherever you may be in your life. And I think with Jupiter and Libra, this is all about connecting to people and helping each other and ascending to a new place in our lives and starting a whole new chapter. So thank you for watching, and thank you to all those who have watched and subscribed to these videos. I really appreciate it, and there will be more to come, so expect to see my face a lot.